It's Friday, September 16th, 2022. So, yesterday I was walking through the living room. Actually, I was in the kitchen, and I heard Linda listening to this view. But when it originally aired, which I went in the later part of the afternoon, it didn't sit with me well. I was walking, I was thinking on it, and what I heard Whoopi say originally was, send me, you're tired, you're sick, you're homeless, and almost misquoting the some version of some urban legend of what the Statue of Liberty represents. Now, I don't have, it costs money on a ferry to get to the Liberty Museum to actually look to see and figure out what that quote actually is. I went on the DVR last night. For whatever reason, Linda deleted it. So I had to wait until today for a repeat of what the show was. Now I'm watching Whoopi Goldberg, and the verse changed. Now all of a sudden she's reading off of a card, and the words are not even the same. But when it originally aired yesterday, it was different, a different sentiment or sentence structure that she had, that at the overnight whatever, they changed it. So now the on-demand feature with Verizon has it posted as something very different. Because between sick humor and dark humor, are they, they're throwing out and baiting the public? Is that what they're doing? At Wharf and Dwarf, and where's the safe harbor? If they're feeding them lines? I mean, is this a baited? Is this bait and lore? I'm just curious. Because it's a lot of conversation starters I find thoroughly aggravating. I hate their view. I hate their point of view. I hate their conversations. I don't enjoy the show. I don't enjoy... Joy is wearing jeans for the first time today. Apparently she won't wear jeans. Never knew that. But I know it's a significant factor in the facts of life for her generation, leading into mine, that arrived and it was like denim everything. And it's like a denim jacket on top of denim pant. Like, what are you doing to us? Women of the generation before? Like, do you never want us to recover and be gracious women ever again? Seriously. Ugh.
Call me crazy, but I remember the big, tall, green lady, you know, the one that's over on the river, and she kind of said, send me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, the tempest-tossed to me. I thought that was part of what we did here in the United States. We welcomed people, invited people who were going through crap in the countries they lived in, getting abused in the countries they lived in. I thought we asked people to come here. And
well, that's interesting. Yes, it's supposed to be an elitist state system, and it's supposed to have national secure rules, regulations, and bylaws that the people sending the invitees to join us, I mean, it looks to me like there's no criteria anymore. DeSantis, this whole thing started because DeSantis just sent yesterday planefuls of people up to Mr. and Mrs. Boston Tea Party. And, I mean, Stamp Act, hello. I mean, if you take the S off of stamp and you add an A at the end, hello. I'm just saying. They put on a piece the other day that the Gazelle put on about supporting Boston And I'm just like, well, I know Boston and New York theoretically have a fight. I don't know if is that the man upstairs? I mean, that would be downstairs in geographical location to Boston. But at like the triplets and then my birthday twin and genetic expression, I'm just curious, like, how do I weather this when you peer group started in 77? I have 78 cover. And it's not going so well. Here's Whoopi Goldberg calling Joy out to stand up and show off her jeans.
Everybody can see that she's in these fantastic jeans. Come on, Joy. People, you look amazing. People went crazy backstage. I want everybody to see the joy that you are.
Now, there was some gift given for some birthday. I wasn't the one giving the gift. And I don't know how gifts go about, but I was at a table once, young, very young, with one of these surprise visits from something that looked very whatever. Jackie Leiberg was there. I think she was small group at the table, and she was the one who handed a gift bag over, and in it were a pair of these slacks, denim. They weren't trousers, jeans, if you will. And I didn't know what it meant. Still don't know what it really means. I was at the table. I think that was the Dances with Wolves Day, or maybe that was a different visit. Hard to tell. I think that was, because that was the birthday of whatever that was about, because it wasn't my birthday, but it was somebody else's birthday, and I didn't know. And so, I just find the timing of this and this thing over here interesting. Now, what I find interesting, since there's been very little talk of bloodline, of preparation, of planning, of a place in the world for myself from the 1978 guild or birthed with this bloodline of Adam as opposed to Cain. Cain and mixing of that blood would make me very sick as a son of Adam. There's an RIB inside of that IHS, or IHOP. I'm pretty sure CHS is aware of it. Just don't know how to speak on it without angering tons of conversations I don't want to have. Really, I don't. It's just my back. They have me like in a room for years with very little access to like safe engagement. And like no, I mean, like, again, it frightens me at some level with this word in concert. But then again, I see people at these gigantic networks acting in concert with each other to promote treasonous and seditious acts against multiple crown and locking away expressed genetics that match without their awareness as they're trying to look for family, or just on the street to see if family even exists any longer. And then whatever family I had has been so devastated by poverty. But again, it's like this forced outdoor internment camp, or like lack of labor camp, because it seems like everything's been taken by unions, contracts, and given to other people that use that power and that network to further suppress the ability to even have a place in the world. I mean, this is not like fair and harmonious living. This is not a utopian anything in this flat iron district. It's like, and here's my only other history lesson for today.
And there have been other royal twists of fate. When she was born, Elizabeth's great-great-grandmother, that's Victoria, was 5th in line of succession for the throne behind the 4 eldest sons of King George III. The death of various princes and a lack of male heirs resulted in the princess capturing the crown, arguably changing the course of history, and here's how. Her descendants, Kaiser Wilhelm II of Germany, Emperor Tsar Nicholas II of Russia, and King George V, all waged war against each other during World War I, millions of lives lost, setting the precedent for World War II and the world that we live in today.
Wow.
George V was her grandfather.
I still marvel that she was 25.
So all I hear is that there's less and less populations of us moving forward. And in this area, the circus freak, the circus frick, the circa, like running away and joining the circus. Which part? Because the Boston Tea Party and stamp collector and the man upstairs in a classification of monetary tier from myself in same peer group, but just exists at a much more comfortable level for them than I ever have. In that peer group, same chronological order of star woven, it gets a little confusing. They were able to join a circus. They were able to provide for some form of family for themselves. I am the same whatever that I was. I mean, like, I am just a quiet person. This is the first time I'm actually saying something, but that's because there's been nobody here to listen. So I'm a little confused why somebody from the correct circus didn't seek out and find me properly, and why it's like just suppression and complete occlusion, it feels like, or exclusion, occlusion, I don't really know. But it seems very serious, especially with the dwindling down of available expressed genetics still in healthy order for future parts of the circus that keep other things in line and in order. I was named correctly after Nicholas. There was a Nicholas that was dispatched in my youth. I just don't understand why that particular Nicholas, if I wasn't the one, if he was supposed to bring me to the correct family, or if he himself was the correct family. He said he was my family. It gets confusing. I'm not a child of Wednesday, Mr. W-E-D, Mr. Wed. I am still T-H-U-R-S. I'm Thurs, as opposed to Wed, even though I have a wed with Alexander that shares a W-E-D significance with someone else in Matchbox and 2 for O. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way Universe, Galaxies, Broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.